Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer wraps up our Weyerbacher week on their anniversary ales. This is 21. Uh, this was sent to me by Rico. And the note he sent here says 21st anniversary ale Imperial Stout. It came in 4-packs. He paid $22 for a 4-pack of this at the beer store. 2016 vintage on this one. And this wraps it up. I don't have the 22nd or 23rd, which would be the 2016-21. They haven't done the 23rd yet, but they had probably, I don't know. This is the 2016, so depending on when in the year they do the 2017 would probably be a reason why I don't have it yet. They did it in the first part of the year, January, February, March, or April. Today is the 26th of April. It may be out or in the brewing process or whatever. If it's in the middle of the year, end of the year, they have not bottled it yet. So let's get on with this. Big long commercial description on this one. Since we're wrapping it up, I will read that. We're turning 21 and we're celebrating with a delicious chocolate cake with bourbon, bacon, icing in a glass. Cocoa nibs and cocoa powder give this big beer its rich chocolate flavor. Vanilla beans and Munich malts add a cake layer of flavor. Where there's icing, we're blending this already amazing beer with its bourbon barrel-aged counterpart. While smoked malts bring a touch of bacon in Weyerbacher's traditional celebratory fashion, this big stout comes in at 11.9%. And that's what it's got on the label here. Bourbon barrel-aged stout brewed with cocoa and vanilla. And bright blue writing on this says, packaged on 6/23 of 16. And then it looks like they've got a time step on it instead of an enjoy by date underneath of it. I wasn't aware they were doing that. But it being an Imperial Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout, this is going to keep for a long, long time, guys. It doesn't have any coffee brewed with it, so it should sell it very well. So, especially being an 11.9, almost a 12%er. Great big beer, big boys beer here. And this wraps up the, like I said, the Weyerbacher week that we're doing here. And I told you on the last video, Rico just sent me a huge beer mail package. And y'all probably noticed the fridge is getting a little thin. So we're going to correct that. And the next video you see will probably have a whole lot of beer in there that my brother Rico has just sent me. So Rico, you're the man, brother. Can't wait for you to come down and spend a little time with me again. And we're going to drink some nice, tasty stuff. Maybe even try to get him on camera again. Well, I'll do my best if we can do that. So, that's all we need to talk about here. So we'll run over here for the food pairings and let me get this cap off of this bad boy. Nice hiss on this. Let's get the glass out here. And I will tell you the cheeses are buttery, brie, good Havarti Swifts. Goes well with your chocolate dishes. And the meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glassware to pint back tumbler snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter today, guys, and can be solid for a long period of time. Didn't pour a very big head on that. And I poured it fairly aggressive there on the end. It's pitch black, guys. I'm not getting any light at all on this. Good looking stout. And I'm a sucker for these bourbon barrel aged stouts. Let's see what it brings. To the nose we go. Now it's not off the chain. I am getting slight hints of the bourbon barrel aging, but the bourbon's not taking up the whole front seat here. Rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee, molasses, brown sugar, hits of bittersweet chocolate. Maybe some dark fruit in there too. It's right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. We're going to let it warm up like I always do for every beer. And see what it ends up being when I come back for the final chug. Smells wonderful. Smells very balanced. Not one thing is overpowering the other. A lot of times when you get a bourbon barrel beer, it's just all bourbon. I mean, that's all you're getting is the bourbon. This one seems to be fairly well balanced. And of course, it's been in the bottle for 6/16, not quite a year. Almost. About 10 months in the bottle. And I don't know how long it was in the barrels. Smells good. Let's dive in. Final beer of the evening for me. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Wow. Very tasty. A little bit more alcohol on the taste than there was on the nose. But of course, it's fresh. Just opened it up, just poured it. That may subside a little bit as it warms up. Very sweet, very dessert-like beer. If you're having some chocolate cake or brownies or any chocolate dessert, this would go very well with it. And if you're not, this could be your dessert. Yep, a little bit of booziness in here, but it's 12%. Sometimes it's hard to hide that much alcohol. But we're going to let it warm up, let her taste it, sip on it, and might go up there, out on the deck. It was a nice 80-some degree day today on the 26th of April, which was fairly warm for this time of the year, but you never know here in Virginia. Tomorrow may be 25 degrees. That's how the weather can change a lot of times. I have seen it snow this time of the year here, so or get down below freezing. So you got to watch when you're planting your gardens and stuff around here. You can get 2 or 3 weeks of warm weather. You know, let's put your garden in, and all of a sudden, pow! You lose everything you got out there in that garden. That has happened to us before, so we don't do that anymore. The last freeze date around here is like the middle of May. So a lot of people sometimes get lucky. They'll get a jump start on their gardens and won't have any problems, and they'll be getting tomatoes in June. And for the rest of us that don't plant the gardens till the middle of May or longer, it's sometimes the end of middle of June, July, or even August before we're getting them. And the summer's winding down by then. So sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you're the windshield. Sometimes you're the bug. So well, let's let this thing warm up, let her taste it, fire up a stogie to go with this, and I'll be back and we'll do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sitting on about 30 minutes or so. Very, very tasty beer. Very balanced to me. Hints of the bourbon that they've used in barrel aging the beer, but it's not overpowering the beer. Like I said earlier, rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee, bittersweet chocolate, hints of some dark fruit, plums, dates, raisins, figs. Very enjoyable beer, very nice beer. Yesterday's beer was good. I think this one's a tad better. And this style of beer lends to being cellared. Your barrel-aged imperial stouts, anything barrel-aged, as long as it don't have coffee in it, will usually cellar a lot better than anything else. Just like a barrel-aged barley wine. It doesn't even have to be barrel-aged for a barley wine. A lot of those barley wines are big beers to start with. But this is awesome beer. Wonderful aroma. Very easy drinking for an almost 12%. Delicious, guys. Final chug. Didn't leave a lot of lacing on the glass on this one. But still very delicious. 9 out of 10 for me on this one, guys. Numeric rate on this would probably be, I'm going to give it a 95. I personally, and a lot of people feel different than I do on this, I'd like to see a little bit more of the bourbon notes. So I don't know how long they left it in the bourbon barrels to get to where they wanted or thought it was where it needed to be bottled. But I like to see a little bit more of that, because you're paying a little bit more for that bourbon barrel aging, and where they left it in there 2 months, 3 months, or whatever. I would like to get a little bit more of those bourbon notes than what I'm getting from this. So 95 for me, definitely an A beer as far as I'm concerned. Just my opinion. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 88. I think it's much better than an 88, guys. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says, this is an alias beer, is what they're saying. Bourbon barrel aged stout with cocoa and vanilla. I didn't see vanilla written on here anywhere. And then it says, proceed to the alias beer. And they're calling it the Weyerbacher Finally Legal. That's what their alias, and you go to that, and this is a different beer, guys. I don't know why they would alias this beer to that one, because the finally legal beer is a 13.5%. This is not that. This is 11.9%. So I don't know why they have that alias to that. So as far as I'm concerned, they're out of here. This is not finally legal. This is their anniversary 21, 11.9% alcohol, not 13.5. So I don't know why they have that alias to that. So as far as I'm concerned, they got the head up their ass. There ought to be 2 different ratings for these 2 beers, because they're different ABVs. And they're different names. This is the 21st, and this is their finally legal. I got a little, no, I don't have a little problem. I got a big freaking problem with that. That's not what this beer is. So, Rate Beer, you're out of here on this one. And final check-in, guys, we'll go right over to Untapped, and they have it at 4.01, which is in their A- scale as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a tad better than they got the bottled on date. They got the ABV on here. They don't have the IBUs, but it's a bourbon barrel aged stout at 11.9%. Really don't need the IBUs, but they listed. No, they don't have it listed here on Untapped. So we don't know what the IBUs are on this particular beer. So that's where we're at on this one. I think this one is a tad better than the 20th anniversary edition. This is the 21st anniversary edition, and I'm a sucker for these bourbon barrel aged stouts, even though I think the bourbon notes could have been a little heavier, but it was pretty balanced. If you don't like that big bourbon notes, you probably would like this one. It's very balanced to me, and very easy drinking for an almost 12%. So that's where we're going to leave it. If you've had this one from Weyerbacher Brewing, these guys out of Easton, Pennsylvania, this is their 21st edition of their anniversary ale, not the finally legal edition, but the 21st anniversary edition. They may have done something a little different, since the ABV is a couple notches above what this one has. So they may have done this, and they have left a little bit of this into bourbon barrels to get a little bit more ABV. I'm not sure. I've not had the finally legal edition from these guys. So that is not what this beer is as far as I'm concerned. So if you've had the 21st edition, and it's got it written right here on there, 21, and not finally legal, let me know what you think, guys. I enjoyed this. It was very tasty. Thanks, Rico. Do appreciate it, brother. And come on back tomorrow. We're going to start it all over again. Rico just sent me a big beer mail package. Easy for me to say after having a 12% beer. And we're going to get it going. Get it on. Yeah, let's get it on. Come on back tomorrow. Let's see what we dig out of the fridge. See you then.